We on?
We on.
Okay. Hello, everybody. The name is Patrick M, your #1 AI transformation partner in Berlin, and welcome to the Tag Biz. Today, I'm chilling with my big homie right here, Henrick, and we're going to be talking about the buzz between AI automation and agentic AI. What exactly is the difference between the two? But before we go into that, I'll let Henrick introduce himself here.
Yeah, hey, I'm Henrick, and I'm an automation expert in Berlin, in Germany, basically. And yeah, I'm building automations for companies. Yeah.
Yes. So, as you heard, Henrick, I want us to just dive straight into it. But before we go into the deeper details, right, I would like for us to talk about the difference between agentic AI and automations, right? I believe a lot of people are using these terms interchangeably. Could you just break it down into simple English for anybody that's out there that's listening, that's been wondering what is exactly the difference between the two?
So agentic AI is basically that the agent can do stuff on its own, you know?
Right.
That you give him a task and he can do it automatically, yeah?
Right. And automation. What is automation? What is the difference then between agentic and an automation?
Yeah, so the automation is more like a step-by-step process which happens one after the other, right?
Right.
Like a recipe, you're doing the first thing and then the second and the third. And yes, now you package this and put an agent inside of there, right?
Right.
Like you have the recipe, but now you also have the cook who's
Right.
actually executing the recipe, yeah?
So, if I'm understanding you correctly, agentic AI is that the agent can do stuff without you always telling it what to do, right? It can operate on its own, think on its own, and so on. And automation is simply how things can happen automatically, so like workflows. Am
Yeah.
I understanding this correctly?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, right. Now let's get into it. A lot of businesses want to automate or use agents in their business and so on. What do you think is the first mistake that most people make when wanting to employ agents in their business, specifically CEOs?
So the first thing is, I mean, in general, companies are lacking clarity about the processes, I would say. I mean, they have to document the recipe first before they can throw an agent onto the recipe that is cooking the meal, you know? So what companies have to do is prepare the recipe. So thinking about the different processes which they have in the departments, map them out, and when they have the recipe, then they can actually execute. And also think about opportunities where agent makes sense and where just, let's say, a script makes sense, right?
Right.
Because when you speak about agents, agents are creative in a way, right?
Right.
Generative AI. They generate, but when it comes to replicating, they are not always 100% replicating. They are always, having a difference in the output sometimes, yeah.
Right. So let's get a little bit deeper into that right there, right? So companies shouldn't want to just have agents, right? You're saying some of the problems probably need automation, not agents, right? Like you don't have to have an agent for everything, and you don't also have to automate everything, right? There are certain problems that need to be automated and others need agents. So with that in mind, can you give us an example? Let's say operations, marketing, and so on. You talked about mapping things out. How detailed is this mapping supposed to be? Is it supposed to be granular details or?
I mean, it has to be really, really deep, you know? For example, let's take the example, you come to the office and you want to drink a coffee.
Right.
when I say you come to the office, this is one step. Yeah, you're going in, and when I say you drink the coffee, it's this kind of the second one. This is how some people think, you know. But you really have to think about each step you take to the end result, which is having the coffee in your hand and sitting on the chair drinking it, right? So there is like, I'm coming to the office, I'm opening the door, coming in, closing the door, going to the coffee machine, filling it up with whatever, you know, coffee beans and so on, and then pressing the button, the coffee runs through, is done, and in the end, then you have kind of your end result, So the companies are lacking the pieces between.
Right. Yeah? So they overlook the pieces in between that will eventually give us what you consider a system and so on, and be as effective as possible for either the agents or the automation process.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, documenting everything is key here. So, when you don't have documented the process, it's hard for you to actually automate that. So you have to start with documenting, mapping out, and then you can automate. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So first, you gotta document, map things out, go to the depth of the details that you possibly have, and so on. And we also know that there's a lot of fear out there about agents and AI taking people's jobs, and agents replacing people in the workplace. Do you think that's the case? And if not, then how does a person think about this whole having an AI agent in the workplace?
I mean, I think about this way. A lot of things will change, but they will change on the, let's say, operative side. So someone who is really operating and coding, I don't know, writing copies, for example, designing images. So on a operation side, these people have to rethink how they work. I mean, they have to think about more to go to the management direction and delegate stuff to AI, because AI is faster and has more knowledge, let's say, because it has access to all the different data points, let's say. So in this case, the people that are currently operating, writing copies and so on, they need to manage, getting to the management position. Yeah.
You're talking management, delegating some certain tasks to AI or agents and so on. And I imagine they also have to have strategy as part of their exercise, or at least part of their responsibility. So this concept of human in the loop, right? This is what you're referring to. Yeah?
Exactly. Yeah. Human in a loop. But also, you still need the competence to give the agent the knowledge, right? For example, when you are marketing manager, you know certain marketing strategies that the agent is currently not thinking about, So you have to give this agent the strategy and the way of how the agent should think,
Right.
So this is what you have to do. You have to give your competence to the agent so he can actually operate. Yeah.
On that, what are some of the elements that a person or an agent has to have? Let's say we building an agent for somebody. What goes into it? 1, 2, or 3 steps, or any elements that you can outline for us would be great.
I mean, in general, how agents are currently structured is that they have a user input, which they get from you when you, for example, type in a chat window, for example. This is the user input. But behind, they still have a system prompt, which is defining which role they have, which rules they should follow. So all the, let's say, the recipe, what I described, how they should act,
Got it.
And also the strategy should be in place there in the system prompt. But besides that, when you have this, the agent has memory,
Memory, there you go.
So they can remember the messages you have sent before, for example, and they're not forgetting what you have sent after the first one, right?
Right.
So they still need to save the information you give in for a period of time, let's say, yeah? So they should have memory. And the second one is they should have access to tools, yeah? So you have to connect different tools. You are, for example, having, your CRM, right?
Right.
And all the different tools you have, yeah? But let's say the agent should specialize on content. He should have access, for example, to a tool, editorial planning, yeah?
Right.
Whatever tool you're using there, he should be able to go there and change things. Let's say this is his tool.
So talk to me about the rack system, right? Because from my understanding, a rack system, let me actually expand a little bit on this. So you have a rack system, you'll explain in a bit, and you have LLMs, right? You have an agent that has access to the LLMs, which means open source information that is available out there. And the rack system, from my understanding, it is how the LLM, or rather how the agent operates with existing company information there that is trained with, right? In the sense of the context, the reasoning will be based on local, will be based on the specific information about the company.
I would consider a RAG system as a tool because a RAG is more like a knowledge base, right?
Knowledge base, yes, exactly.
So I would make a cut there between memory and RAG. Memory is more like the current conversation, but the RAG is, let's say, knowledge base, which they can refer to if they don't know further, yeah?
Right.
And the RAG system is, I mean, it's a little bit deep when I say it like this, but it's a vector database. It's not rational like you have like a Google sheet with rows. It's more like a cube, you know?
Right.
And in this cube, there are the information and the, let's say, the AI understands the different blocks and can give you the answer that is most...
accurate and to whatever your request might be at the time. Okay, great. So this brings me to this question, right? Data flow, all of it, you know, an agent and all of the AI ecosystem requires information, data structures and data infrastructures. How important do you think it is for a company to have their data structures, the quality of the data when it comes to automations, and not only automations but also agents? Let's talk about this data.
I mean, yeah, data is a good point because some companies really still have legacy data, let's say, yeah? They have multiple databases spread around the different tools, right?
Right.
But there's no source of truth, let's say, yeah?
Right.
It's not really clean, it's not clear where is which data, yeah? It's coming back to the mapping out the stuff, yeah?
Right.
I think it lacks of clarity where they can access which data point. That's basically it. Yeah. And then the second thing is some tools don't allow access to the data, yeah? If you use tools that don't have API access, how can you access this data?
Can you make an example of that? A real client use case example of that?
I mean, I work, for example, with the insurance guy who has like a tool where he has all his complaints in, right? He gets the email and the email gets documented in a tool, yeah?
Right.
So he can reply with the correct, let's say, answer, yeah?
Right.
But he asked me to automate this process so he don't have to go into the email and so on. But how do you automate this when you don't have an API? That's actually pretty tricky. I would say there's still ways to interact with the UI and manipulate, but it overcomplicates things. So,
right.
So I would say, really think about which tools you have. Really think about your tool stack you're using.
Okay.
And this is also part of the mapping, yeah?
Let's stick with the tools, for example. And I'm glad that you brought this up because there are a lot of services that are being provided out there, or third-party providers, right? Who would say, use my tool or use this other tool, either for, it could be Salesforce, HubSpot, or whatever. A lot of companies are competing for essentially the same, they solve the same problem. Some of them, of course, have multiple offers within the same kind of ecosystem with their service. And what that creates is a problem for the companies who are buying these tools, because you might end up with a tech stack of 10 tools and so on, but then you use 5% of each tool, and then you say your system is integrated. How can we navigate this gray area, let's say, with using APIs and so on?
How do we navigate? I mean, it comes again back to the mapping. If you have no clear overview, you don't know where you can cut costs, for example. Yeah, you describe that one tool has one feature, the other tool has one feature, right? But I think some tools you can build yourself currently.
Right.
I mean, it's a make or buy decision, and it's changing, I would say, from buy to make, because making is less expensive than years before. Yeah,
right.
With vibe coding, I mean, the developers out there will would throw stones on me, but when I say you can vibe code
right
a lot of stuff, then why not doing it? Yeah, it's so cheap,
right,
and can solve the purpose. Yeah,
I like that concept of make or buy. So with vibe coding, Cloud Code being a human strength, a lot of people can build apps and new products to substantiate the gray area. I like that a lot, and I believe that it's going to be useful in saving companies some budget around buying tools that do not completely complement each other. So let's move on a bit from there. So as a CEO of a company, right, and you want to have an agent, or perhaps even the executive level leaders of a company each of them want to have an agent, what would be the first thing you'd say they should consider?
I mean, what they should consider, they should actually test the stuff themselves out, how can you tell your employees, let's integrate AI, without knowing what AI actually is, right?
Right.
So they really have to play in the dirt and find the stuff out which are necessary for the company, right? When you think from the founders or CEO perspective, what is his purpose? I mean, building the company, and to stay ahead, you should learn what are the processes from tomorrow, right? To integrate them into your company. There are a lot of examples currently out there on LinkedIn, for example. The CEO of Snox, who's posting on YouTube, LinkedIn, which stuff he currently tests out. Yeah. Also the CTO from Huel. You know Huel?
Yes.
He also posts a lot of stuff about NNN, for example. Yeah. He's building workflows themselves, so he understands the system, and then he can teach the employees in his company to use these tools. Yeah.
Right.
To a certain degree. I mean, the CEO has other
tasks and so on. Yeah.
But understanding the tools from tomorrow is necessary to stay ahead.
Right. So sticking with CEOs leading the charge with AI adoption and so on, we know that employees are terrified of AI coming for their jobs and so on. So what does a character or the personality of an AI first company look like? Right? Of course, this will bring us into change management and so on and so on. For the employees who are sitting there thinking, oh my God, what do I do now? How fast do you think they should be adapting and adopting to using AI tools?
I mean, what should they do? I mean, they should learn about this stuff as well, right?
Right.
You can only put this the stuff on the CEO's head, right?
Right.
If you want to grow your career, you you still have to learn this stuff. Yeah, you have to learn how to use Claude, for example, on a daily basis. You have Claude Cowork, you have Claude Code. These are the tools that are relevant for tomorrow, right? So understanding these tools and how they can help with your current setup is necessary. And the second thing is that the company has to build like a, let's say, they should be able to create a place to try out and sharing knowledge, right?
Right.
Because when one employee knows this stuff, this employee has to teach the others so the knowledge can spread out.
Right.
We're speaking about change management, doing workshops internally. I mean, we talked with a lot of huge companies that are currently trying this out, right?
Right.
Doing workshops internally, teaching, and doing hackathons, for example, and really building this stuff. Yeah, trying it out.
Right. So we're talking about workshops, change management, and the tools of tomorrow. Much like any other technology, I think people are still sitting there thinking, I need to be very good at this right now. Like you see a really nice, shiny workflow online, either on LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube, and then a person walks away from there thinking, oh my God, I can't possibly do this. Or then you copy the workflow and then you try to use it for yourself, only to find out that it's not useful for you. How would you suggest somebody approaches this, when you see this big, shiny, advanced workflow or integrated system and you want to use it for yourself?
I mean, I think starting with the problem here again, but when people right now look on LinkedIn, they are, they get everywhere the information about current new tools, workflows. They see big, huge workflows, right? And with the comment here, and you get the workflow for free. Right?
Yes, that.
They get overwhelmed basically. And what you have to do is cut the noise, I would say. Yeah, there are resources where you can get free workflows for sure, but start with your the problems you have. Yeah, think in small pieces. Yeah, start small, test things out. I mean, it's these no-code opportunities. I mean, they make this programmatic approach easier, but still you need to understand the stuff that a developer is doing. For example, debugging, looking for how to solve a problem. Yeah, if some automation doesn't work, you have to figure out why it doesn't work.
Yes.
You have to dig deep, and Claude and AI can really help with that, because error handling and so on. You just give Claude the information about the error, and it can help you to find the answer. Yeah. So back and forth feedback with the AI. AI is there to help.
Yeah. I had the on the camera.
Yeah, but I think.
Oh, so it's still working.
Yeah.
Even if it works.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we continue. I mean, this is a casual conversation here. So, right. AI can communicate with AI to find what the problems are with your agent or even your workflow. So that helps, which means building and figuring things out is really great. So you're going to need to have patience and great research skills in order for you to debug some of these things. So there are, of course, limitations with AI, right? Everybody shouldn't just go around looking at AI thinking everything is perfect and it's going to work out all the time. So what are some of the ethical considerations that businesses need to take seriously, right? I mean, there must be such a thing as over automating, right? So in your view, what are some of the,
I mean, what does over-automating mean? Yeah?
Exactly. Maybe you could tell us what that is. What does that look like?
I would say everything that annoys you in your current situation that should be automated. And of course, not only the thing that annoys you, but also which is replicatable. Yeah, things you do day to day, let's say, yeah, copy pasting stuff, moving things from one place to another every time. This stuff, the boring stuff, this thing you should actually automate, yeah? I mean, all this AI, agents, and so on, I would say, yes, these are things you should integrate, but start with the boring things first, yeah? So
right, the stuff that are day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
day-to-day activities, things that are, you know, reoccurring bottlenecks or whatever, they cause an issue, but then they can be. In fact, you know, it's very interesting that since, you know, we've both delved into the world of AI and all the and automation, I've now looked at work that we used to do, especially in PR, marketing, and so on, and then you kind of look at it and say, I can't believe I used to do this way, you know, and then you look at how AI simply just, you know, gives you another way of doing it. And once you have discovered many different ways of doing something with AI, it's really difficult to go back to doing it manually, man. It's very difficult.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's so much stuff I did as a working student in my past, right? Which I would directly automate. So wouldn't consider spending time on that, yeah?
So the world of work is changing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there will be less monkey work, I hope. So hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to draw this to a conclusion. Basically, automations and agentic AI, these are not the exact same concepts, but somehow they work well together. Second thing is, when you're out there wanting to be a part of this whole movement with AI and automation, just learn the tools and figure out what can help you in your day-to-day basis. Claude Code. Are there any specific tools that you would recommend, or at least that you like, that you have tested in your own personal capacity?
I mean, I can talk a lot of, I can give you a lot of tools basically, but
let's mention 5. Let's mention 5.
5, okay. Yeah, Claude Code for sure. I mean, maybe you see it on LinkedIn. I know people are talking about Claude Code, but it's actually pretty helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can code with it. You can build documents with it. You can build Excel sheets with it. You can do basically everything, I would say.
Yeah.
At the moment. And yeah, the second one, actually, man, it's tricky to get 5. I mean, I'm currently using, for example, Apollo a lot for getting lookalike audiences.
Okay.
Based on my clients that I have.
Right.
And I'm pushing this into my CRM HubSpot. So
we'll consider HubSpot another tool for sure.
Yeah.
And then
I'm using Wallaxy, which is a tool for automating LinkedIn, for example.
A lot of people don't know what Wallaxy is. I promise you.
So, but in the end, I mean, yeah.
Okay, like give me one last tool.
One last tool, man.
Yeah. You mentioned Claude, Apollo, okay. HubSpot you mentioned, Wallaxy you mentioned. The last one.
I mean, do you have one?
N
for sure. Oh man, I completely forgot about this one. I'm using it on a daily basis, and I forgot about this. But yeah, I mean, why did I forget it? I mean, because Claude Code is actually taking a little bit over. Yeah. But in the end, I mean, N is still very important for sure. I mean, we are running automations on a daily basis with NNN.
For sure. Yeah.
But we're also testing out a lot of stuff with Claude Code at the moment.
Okay. So as a final thought, right? One piece of advice for business, because I would like to speak directly to the business owners, you know, the C-suite. What would be, you know, your last thought on for them to navigate the AI revolutions responsibly and successfully?
I mean, it's starting again with the thing I already mentioned, mapping the stuff out understanding the processes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the automation is second. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so automations, agentic AI, tools, MarTech. I mean, the entire ecosystem is actually a beautiful world to be a part of. So I encourage everybody that's out there who wants to be a part of the new world, who wants to be an employee for tomorrow. In fact, if you want to start your own business, this is possibly the best time to do it. So take advantage of the AI revolution, be a part of the movement, and stay locked in as we bring you more news on BizTech. The name is Patrick Game, your number one AI transformation partner out of Berlin, and I'm with Henrick, the automation guy. So see you on the next one.